Okay, so welcome everybody. My name's Craig Blanchette, Global Director, and one of your leaders. We have many mentors in this family. So welcome. This is the monthly JumpStart edition, where we go over folks that have moved forward with their businesses, and we celebrate new people that's joined our team. We celebrate people that have grown over the previous month, and we hopefully get some good inspiration. We might be struggling by seeing somebody else that's growing and doing well. Oftentimes that lifts us up, and so that's why we have these every month. And so welcome everybody. After the Jumpstart today, we are going to actually go over a new tool that has condensed the cornerstones of getting started as a health coach. And actually, it's more of the standard operating procedure that all coaches do as they're building client bases and building a successful referral based business. And so we're going to be talking about how that tool is going to work. And so you're going to really want to hang out for that. I think it's going to make a big difference in our and consistency over time with our coaches. So as we start off today, as usual, well, first of all, before we go into that, we do have a couple of guests, and I just wanted to recognize, first of all, we're back as a big family. And so Team Prestonbach, Team McMillan, all of you, a lot of you in the Louisiana area, welcome back to the fam. We love it when we see your faces on the call. And Betsy just said, I love it when the family gets together. And that's exactly it. We all do. And then we're also, Jack Clubb is joining us today as well. And he's a global director that's part of our, he's like my great grandpa. And so he's, because at some point he and Sue made a decision to get healthy, we're part of their family. And so I wanted to recognize he's snooping in and lurking around and kind of seeing what's going on over here. So that we're excited to have him. So thank you for joining us, Jack. And so next thing is we have Jumpstart. So I'm going to just go over we got a lot of new people that have joined the team. And so it's important that we talk a little bit about defining the ranks. Really with Take Shape for Life, it's hard to talk about where someone's at in your business, of each one of these things means something, basically. And so we put a title to it. Senior coach means something. And that way, when we say senior coach, we all know what we're meaning. We could say working with 5 to 9 people, right? I mean, we could say that, but that's not nearly as marketable as senior coach, right? So senior coach means that you have $1,200 in frontline volume. We're working with about 5 people, actually minimum 5 people. And then as we move up to manager, manager is you have about $1,200 in frontline volume. And so roughly that's between 10 and 15 people. Associate director goes up. So it's 3 points. You get $1,200, 1 point for every $1,200 in volume. So however many clients it takes to get to $1,200 will get you a point. And so director is 4,800 points. And then executive director is $6,000. It's $6,000 in frontline volume, which means 5 points. Excuse me. And so those are client support ranks. Those are focused on you coming alongside another human being and walking with them on their health journey. So there's not team development or leadership at usually at those client support ranks. You're just focusing on helping other friends and family get healthy and change their health. And then if you do that long enough, I guarantee you what will happen is some of those people that are becoming healthy will say, I want to do what you do, especially if you give them an opportunity to see what it is that you do and an overview. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But they will say, hey, I want to be trained as a coach. And so when you do that, then you move into the leadership ranks. most of our regional, well, actually, I would say all of our regional, national, global, and presidentials still support clients. All of them do, and but they also are building a team and they're training people to then help people get healthy. And so a regional director is where you have a client or someone that's come along and they've helped somebody go from health coach to executive director. When you've done that one time, you are now an executive director. When you've done that 3 times, you're a national director. We have a couple of national directors and regional directors on our team, and then global director is you've basically come alongside, and 5 people have gone from health coach to executive director, and that's 5. And then presidential director would be 10 or more, and so that's our basic ranks. Now, one other thing that's a slight little caveat there is that you can reach these ranks or these different point levels by building teams of senior coaches or by just helping doing client support. And so that's called the hybrid system, and or the blended path, and it's actually very stable. So without going into super deep detail, just know you can reach these ranks by building coaches and by supporting clients or by combining the two. So next here is we have new coaches that have joined our family in November. And so Eric Anderson and Jack Cosby have joined the team, and it's pretty interesting because Eric's been a client for 2.5 years, and he just said, I need to get in there. And some of you have seen him on the calls occasionally. And Jack Cosby was a coach about 5 years ago, and then kind of fell away from it, and met him at a retreat, men's retreat, and he's like, hey, I think I want to jump back in here again. And so he's come back around, lives in Spokane. Pretty excited to have him. And then Joanna Bro, her team is growing. So Jane has joined us. And then Mary Pylon. I think it's Pylon. She is just going crazy. And so she has a new coach come on board. And then Jeff Norris has joined us as well. And that's Sam and Harold's neighbor. And so that's exciting that we're not only getting our families healthy, but we're getting our neighborhood healthy too. So good job, everybody, for giving people the opportunity to join us and be part of this family. Next up, we have some rank advancements. So again, like I said before, Mary is going really gangbusters down there. And so she went from Fast Track Health Coach, which means Fast Track Health Coach is a special place that kind of lives when you're a health coach for the first 30 days, they call you a Fast Track Health Coach because really they're trying to fast track you to senior coach. There's lots of reasons why that's a good idea. And so Mary went from a client essentially to manager all in 1 month. And so when I said she's lighting it up, you can see what I meant by that. So she actually just leapfrog. I think it's called the Senior Coach Leapfrog, and I recommend that plan for all that want that. Linda Weidman, she's part of Dawn Carpenter's team in Spokane, and what's real interesting is she's been a coach out there for a while, just hovering around 1 or 2 clients. And then Dawn calls me last month and goes, guess who went senior coach? I'm like, I don't know who. And she's like, Linda. So it's amazing to see people, they get it when they get it. And so Linda's moving forward to senior coach. And then Joanna Mitchell has gone from Fast Track Health Coach to senior coach. And really, that is the goal. The goal is not to build just health coaches. The goal is to bring on senior coaches, because senior coaches are actually helping people get healthy, and that's where the magic really happens. Build a bunch of senior coaches as your goal, and you will do very well in this business. And so ED and beyond. So these are folks that have ranked up. Each month we have to re-rank for our pay structure. Just because you've hit a title doesn't mean you've actually ranked that month. And so these folks have actually ranked up for ED or higher, which is regional or national director. And so I want to just celebrate Kim Stewart, Gina Sternfels. Gina, we've been working together a lot, and it's both Gina and Kim actually, and it's been really fun to see you guys just doing really well. Diana Sargent, of course, she's consistent. Sam Prestonbach, Sam and Harold, we can call them the Ham Prestonbachs. Alex McMillan, consistently on the board for ED and beyond. Daniela Carulli and Don Carpenter and Leslie Begin. So good job, you guys, keeping a consistent flow every month, working your business like it's a career and not a hobby, because that's definitely what is exemplified by these folks. So good job, you all. Next up, this is one of my funnest slides, and this shows basically all of the coaches that have grown above what they did the previous month. So anytime you see even 0.1%, 1%, it means that you did more and helped more people this month than you did last month. And you had more volume. And so Linda Weidman, she's grown the most, and I was explaining what had happened there. And so she grew by 346%. And so that was great. We have Amy there at 204%. Melissa Pitts, she's another part of Don Carpenter's team over there in Spokane. So 154%. Keith Williams, wonderful. It's actually Keith and his wife, Wendy, 113%. Joanna Bro, 101%. That means 101%. That means she doubled her business. If you grow by 100%, you double. So what's up, Joanna? Brad Westfall, he came back around, and Leslie Struckness, Scott Brommer, Sandy McClary. Now it depends on where these people are at. If you only had one client, you went from 1 to 2, you would grow by 100%. So some of these folks that have been around a while and are at higher ranks, it's harder to grow by these big percentages when you have a lot of volume. But anyway, so a lot of these folks, David Zarzana, Rhett Brown, Christy Burgess, and then let's move on to the second one here. Leslie Begin. So there's some stuff right there. Leslie Begin is not a senior coach. She's a regional director, and she grew by 27%. That's a big deal. Brenda McGinnis, Ashley Norton. She's another. Ashley Norton's part of Don Carpenter's team over in Spokane. So Don's got a lot of movers and shakers that are growing. Melissa Blum, Martin Forbes. Look at that, 21%. Martin, what's up, dog? Mary was there. Daniela Carulli, 9%. See, Daniela again. She's got a big business. I've heard her grow 9%. Unbelievable, great stuff. Holly's back on the board. That's great. Monica McKenna, Karen Chambray, Stan Talbot, what's up, representing. So basically anything above 1% means you grew your business. And that's a really good thing. So congratulations to all you that had growth and that are paying attention to your business. Because when you pay attention to your business, people become healthy. And and lives change. That's a big deal. It's important stuff. And so I've been advised to change our 10K club to the 8K club. And so this is folks with $8,000 in frontline volume. And why 8,000 is a really good thing is when you're at 6,000 in frontline volume, that's about 20 to 25 clients, you're an executive director. But you're just barely an executive director. That's by getting in by the skin of your chinny chin, as somebody said. And so when you move that up to 8,000, you've got a little bit of buffer there to still meet your rank and get paid at the highest commission possible in our company. But you have a little bit of buffer there. And so you ensure consistent paychecks and consistent financial security there. And so 8K and above is a good club to be in. And so we've got Daniela Carulli is burning it up. Did you like the graphic there? A little bit of fire. And here we got Sam, Samantha, and Harold Prestonbach. So they are part of the 8K and above club. And I want you to know that Daniela, Sam, and Harold, they invite you to join them in the 8K club. It's fun. They said they have a bunch of fun up there. It's really exciting. They have, great music, and it's a nice club. So they invite us all, every one of us, to join them in that club. So good job, guys. Well done. And next up,
we're all laughing, Craig. We just had it on mute, so you couldn't hear us. That was
yeah, because I can't. I have the video off, so I can't see anything either. So I'm just sort of talking.
the invitation, guys. You guys are awesome. No.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex. I'm thinking I'm just going to go with this bit here, and maybe somebody will think I'm funny, maybe, right? So Health Talks. This is really Jack Club brought this back around, and so he teamed up. We just kind of had some powwows, and so we've brought these trainings back, and you guys have probably heard of these for a little while now, and so that we changed the name to Health Talks, and so it's a group of us, but the primary driver on this is Jack Club, and he is joining us today. And so December 13th is our next Health Talks, and so standard time, standard place. You can join us on Zoom, and we encourage you to not just join us by yourself, but invite at least one person to snuggle up to you on the monitor there, or get a group of folks. Sam and Harold decided to broadcast from their training studio last month, and so you can take advantage of these great trainings. And so online or at the Heathman Lodge in Vancouver, Washington. And so the folks that we actually have speaking this time, and Alex McMillan, Don Chow, Craig Blanchett, and Bill Ritchie. And I'm going to be giving the trilogy presentation. So I'll be talking about how our tools work and how our health coach certification program, what's involved with that. And so it's going to be a real, hopefully it'll be a nice way to present what we actually do and how we do it in a very educational, I didn't know that kind of a attitude, and no real, pressure or any of that kind of weird stuff, just a normal, hopefully it'll be really good. And then I'm also going to be speaking at the very end on the voices in your head and being able to discern which voice is talking to you, and how to fight fear and how to overcome. It's called Advanced Voice Recognition Therapy, and it's really, really powerful for you to make good choices in life and learn how to distinguish between your survival brain and your human thriving brain. And it's powerful stuff. It's really been changing a lot of things in my life. So then we're going to have our usual inspirational life transformation stories interspersed between each talk. So encourage you to get excited about that. Invite folks to come and enjoy what we've put together. So, and that concludes the first portion of our training. I'd like to toss it out there to the group there, and Alex, you probably have a few things to chat, and Jack, if you have some things, but I'd like to have a little discussion about the growth of folks' business and or even the health talks. So welcome, guys. There you are. Now I can see all your faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we're glad to be here, Craig, and thanks for just explaining the dynamic of our business. And obviously it's about people and relationships, and so anytime we see new faces and when we see veteran faces growing and moving on, it's very exciting, like you said, and definitely can light a fire in each of us. One of the things I think I'm most excited about is the health talks that we talked about, but the group dynamic of what's happening with people, inviting people to their homes. And what I've seen happening is the coaches who are inviting people to come together and you give people a heads up or a notice ahead of time. I know it can be, you might give them a last minute invite if it's last minute this time around, but the super regionals are coming up in January. So this is the time right now to invite people. And if you don't know where your super regional is around your area of the country, go on tsflcoachconnections.com, tsflcoachconnection.com. Somebody can type that in the chat if they want to, and look at the events, and the agenda is there. And there's a portion for you to invite guests and people to in the mornings of those events. And the ones, if you are somewhere where there's not a location, it's worth driving to if you're anywhere, even in that region. I've had coaches drive as far as 1,000 to 1,500 miles. I drove 1,000 miles last year, or 2 years ago, excuse me, and did 2 super regionals because I had people in the San Francisco area that I wanted to go do it with. But long story short is the energy of being together. So the Preston Box had a group there at their location. And Harold, if you could just share briefly what the impact of having people together versus watching it at home was, that would be great.
Hey, Alex, if before Harold does that, I think that'd be very valuable. But I noticed pop up in the chat, what is super regional? So maybe we can kind of address that first.
Yeah, go ahead, hit it.
Okay, so wasn't quite expecting that, but okay.
There you go.
So first of all, super regional, great event. We're lucky it happens really close to us once a year in January. And I think one of the most phenomenal things about it is that Dr. A comes to town. And so it's a great event to invite anybody to that has any smallest interest in health or self-improvement, or just wants to be inspired to move forward in some way in their life, because Dr. Anderson is just that kind of a speaker. And then we also get some pretty amazing training by our leadership at these events as well. And lots of training that goes on between the training, just by all of us getting to be together. And it tends to draw coaches that are anywhere nearby, so they might drive up from another state that's close by, or fly in or whatever also. So you get to really have that camaraderie effect. And I think it helps people take that next step forward, whether you're a coach, a client, or thinking about being a client. So it's just an awesome place to bring anybody.
So let me just clarify too. So we have like the health talks, and we have different types of training. Some are led by David and Terry Miller. So the main discerning difference between a super regional and a standard TSFL coach training is Dr. A is in the house. And it's usually an event that it's hosted by Take Shape for Life corporate. And so they have them all over the country. And so our health talks is not called a super regional because Dr. A won't be there. It's just a coach training, or our style of coach training. So there's the uniqueness. So you want to see Dr. A and have it be it's like a mini convention. Actually, the one that we have in Portland was about 1,000 shy of what convention was. And so it was, 2,500 people. So it was unbelievable last year. And we expect the same. So thanks.
Can also say, Craig, that
yes,
you don't want to get to Dr. A's meeting in January and say to yourself, and the reason I can say this is because I sat there and said this to myself, gosh, I wish I'd invited more people. Because when you get people in front of Dr. A, they see the vision, they see where he's going, they see the integrity. So don't get to the meeting in January and ask yourself, man, I should have, start even now prepping people, clients, coaches. You may have a coach that's just kind of floundering, for lack of a better word. Get them in front of Dr. A. If there's a fire to be lit, he'll light it. If the person goes and it's not lit, maybe it's not their time yet. So, but anyway, you don't want to get to that meeting and say, I wish I would have.
Hey, Jack, can I role play with you what that conversation would look like?
Sure.
So Jack, let me set this up. So Jack's the guy that's been struggling, and so Jack, I know you've been struggling. Do you like to? Have you ever been in front of a speaker that just kind of lights you up and sort of gives you some perspective that maybe you didn't have before? Have you ever experienced that in your life?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what. There's this guy. His name's Dr. Anderson. You probably heard of him from our Habits of Health, and he's the guy that started this whole health coach thing. And he's actually coming to Portland in January. And I don't know. I just think it would be great to listen to him talk and have you there. And I'd love to pick you up and we can go together. What do you think? You could be my guest.
Well, you know, I've been a health coach for over a year, Craig, and I don't know. It's not been going like I guess I envisioned when I started.
Yeah. You know, I've seen that happen a lot. And there's been times when I've had a lot of momentum and times when I haven't. And sometimes when you just come and you cast a new vision, you kind of just catch something. And I don't know whether it lights up your health coach practice or whether it just inspires you personally. I don't know. I just think it'd be good to go. And I want to invite you to be my guest. So this is the date that it's on, and why don't you think about it, and we'll check in next week and see if you can be there. It's basically one evening, and it'll be pretty fun to be there.
Well, I one thing I do trust you, Craig, and you know, I take that as a personal invite, and you know, I'll check that date, and you know, if at all possible, I'll be there.
Great. So just talk about what I did is I did a relation to another time when you went to something and you were inspired. And so I tried to connect them with an experience that they probably have had with experience that they would have if they went to this. So they have some correlation there. And then I made the personal invitation, but I didn't just said, I'll meet you there. I said, I'll pick you up. And that is a game changer. When you drive with them, you know, meet them in a parking lot and then pack as many people in your car as you can and all drive over. I mean, that's what Doug and Tia Wood, they were just talking about how they did that over and over again. So thank you, Jack. Didn't know I was going to have you be part of our training this morning.
Well, one of the things I think is the best is that getting the word out, people need to kind of know things ahead of time. That's the biggest. Put it on their calendar. Whatever. Most people you're going to find, I really think that Brian Drollinger hit it good when he said that it's a third, you know, a third of the people are going to be really like, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for giving me the date. A third are going to be like, I'll think about it. I've got to kind of consider it. They just need to kind of figure things out. And a third are going to be like, no, I'm just not interested in that. And it's not about us taking that personal. It's about us getting the word out, planting the seed, and then being obviously a good, consistent friend. What I found is that the 1/3 that don't really have an interest in our program or our invitation or whatever, it challenges me personally to say, am I really a friend or am I just trying to get somebody? Because it's that third that actually, if I never call that person ever again about anything in life, I realized that maybe I was just trying to get this person and maybe I don't deserve for this person to be a partner with me on anything. I just wanted to tell you that's been on my mind lately. Like for that 1/3 that says no to my offer, I've been making a point to ask myself, is this somebody I really would be, you know, wanting to do life with anyway? And if it is, start doing it with them regardless of their interest in my thing, right? Mm-hmm. So which my thing happens to be amazing and optimal health and, you know, feeling great and living great. But yeah.
There's very few people that don't want that, by the way.
So Harold, I think you were going to share about, now this isn't a super regional we're talking about here. We're talking about coming online. We have an event called Health Talks. He and his wife invited their coaches and some clients to come to their place to watch online. And first off, how did it go? How many people did you get? And how did it go over? We haven't asked you yet.
Yeah, no, it went well. We had a few technical difficulties as we always seem to encounter, but I think we got it figured out this time. So we'll be good there this time. We'll come around. I think we had between 15, 20 people. It was actually on a smaller side for us, but it was just that time of year. Typically we bring in 30 to 40 on average. But it was good. I think anytime you can bring team together, good things happen. And then when you can bring that quality and caliber of leaders into the same space, then it just exponentially increases good things. But it allowed us all just to sit there. All of us were engaged. And then afterwards, we were able to talk about and discuss it and not have to get the message out across Facebook or email and hey, guess what I just learned? Or guess what I just listened to? we were there when we were able to discuss it and go further with it. So yeah.
So I just wanted to extend an invitation now to everyone to, I'm going to be at the December 13th one in Portland, and that's where it is. But if you don't live local, sometimes it's easy to say, oh, I don't live local. Well, Harold's in Louisiana, and he attended the Portland Health Talks in November and he invited a lot of other people. And you know, what's neat is out of all the invitations they did, 15 to 20 people showed up. That's probably about a third of what were invited. And think about that. That means a lot of people have it on their radar that they are the people. And that's important. How many of you have ever decided to do something that it took you several times of being invited or hearing it to finally do? Okay, me. It took me 3 or 4 invitations to Take Shape for Life to finally say yes to it. All right. And so I just say, get the word out. That's all we have to do. So create your action.
Can I add something to that?
Go ahead.
I think I like how Jack and Craig touched on that, because I think all of us, myself included, could probably get better at being more proactive and inviting people to these things, not passively inviting, but like get on a phone and genuinely say, hey, this is cool. I'd like for you to be here with me. And whether you got to go pick them up or meet somewheres or whatever, but not passively just text or send it. That's cool. That's layering. But I think to genuinely just pick up the phone and invite someone like you would a party or a wedding or something like that that's important to you. I think we all could get better at that. And I think our turnout to be much better.
Yeah, think about this: is you can throw it out on an email to 400 people, or you can throw it on a Facebook to your 2 bajillion friends and maybe have one person show up. But what I find is that if I picked 2 people that I actually wanted to be there with and called them and told them about it and invited them personally, I'll probably get 2 people to come with me, right? And instead of throwing it out to sort of the masses and just hoping you catch something in that net, it's like sharpshooting. You're going, and I want you, right? Who would like to have Alex be on their team, right? Who? Yeah. Oh, he has
Jack, cracking me up. Yeah. I am on all your teams, but just relationship of where, right?
But I mean, think of it. Alex had to be invited by somebody, right? I had to be invited by somebody. I said no for 4 months. Think of that. I said no. I will never do this for 4 months, and then I showed up. Yeah, Harold was 6 months. Yeah. So the reality is, though, is if you make that personal invitation and you go hang out with somebody and then go have some food or hang out, with just build relationships with people. It's great, especially if you really like them and they like you. Why wouldn't they come?
I know we want to move on, but Craig, I just have to say what you just brought up again, I really think is the anchor of this conversation right now is when you invite someone when you get the yes, great, awesome. And when you get the maybe, just stay consistent. And when you get the no, hang out with that person, be their friend. If you really are their friend, still be their friend. It will come back around if it's meant for them. But be at the end of it, what I'm hearing is be a heartfelt person that talks to people and engages versus just passively Facebooks and emails only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The thing is we're inviting people to join us, not because we're trying to get them to do something they don't want to do. All of you love coaching, right? That's what we're inviting them to, not some crazy other thing that's out there in your mind going nuts. We're inviting them to come join you on this awesome journey, to be part of this family, to help other people's lives be changed, to go to bed at night and go and have a smile on your face because of Wade, because of Brenda, because of one of your clients that just told you about how their life changed and they thanked you that they were able to chase around with their grandkids. That's what we're inviting them to. I mean, come on, folks. That's really neat stuff. That's really good stuff. You're not inviting them to the doomsday club and another boring job. You're inviting them to awesome. Daniela.
Hey, Craig, I just have to share this. Barb and I have been going back and forth in the chat, and I don't know if people have been looking at this, but I do think it's worth sharing for people out there that are just getting started and maybe have some concepts that I know that I struggled with over the course of time. But Barbara and I, we go back a long time. Our husbands worked together, and we became friends. I don't even know how many years ago, over 20 years ago at this point. So, but I think it was over a year worth of time that I and Nick spent, conversing off and on with Barbara and Tim about the idea of coaching and creating health in the lives of people they know and that sort of thing. And they, for whatever reason, weren't hearing us at the time, weren't ready at the time, a whole variety of things. And I had shared with Barbara yesterday, because we had this conversation, that there were times when I questioned myself and I thought, be careful. You don't want to damage this great friendship. Maybe you're pushing too hard. And then the other side of me is like, but this is phenomenal. If only they would, hear me. What am I not saying? And so just the idea of knowing what it could be for them in their lives, how good of friends they have been for so long, and what great people they are, and just knowing that we wanted them in our lives in every facet, and to share this joy and inspiration and with them, and so that they could share it and know how that felt, just because we knew them well enough to know it would light their fire too. So it was hard at times, and I'm just going to share that. And even though we're such good friends, I still had this funky little thing going on with, what if they get irritated that I'm bringing it up again? But, thank the Lord, I stuck with it. He inspired me to stick to it. And I don't know what it was that one time that I came down to their office and we had a chat in one of the exam rooms, I think where we're sitting in, and things just started clicking, and it moved forward from there. So, if you care, if you love what you're doing, share it, and I do think it falls together. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna. This is a great dovetail. By the way, I'm thrilled. Barb and I have been working together, and I'm thrilled that she's on the team. So thank you, Daniela, for bringing her around. We needed her on our team. This dovetails really nicely with the training that I'm going to move into. And what I want to, we've talked a lot about making an invitation, and making an invitation. Don't invite someone to go to a movie that you don't want to go to a movie with, right? Don't have somebody come over to your house that you don't want to be around, right? And so let's just think about the people that we do want to be around. Who do you love to hang around that lights up the room? You're just like, man, I just think they're awesome. Those are the kind of people. Invite those kind of people, right? But you'll be encouraged to want to hang around those people. And I see a lot of you here that I know you, and I think that about you. So what I've been doing lately is just a simple invitation. I role played that a little bit with Jack a minute ago, and I'm telling you what, this has been. I have 100% success with yeses the last 2 weeks that I've been doing this. And so I'm going to tell you a simple little story with a lady named Phyllis. She's been a client. She was a referral of a referral of a referral. She lives in Maryland. She's 64 years old, and she's lost 138 pounds. And I just looked at her chart. She's maintained 118 pounds for the last year. So a year into maintenance, and we still talk. She's such a sweet lady. She's the lady that said, I don't get in my way anymore. When I said, what do you notice most about your life? I don't get in my way anymore. I was like, what a cool thing to say. Well, so Phyllis, I said, Phyllis, how was your Thanksgiving? She said, well, I had to work. She works the ER at the hospital, and she works graveyard, right? And she said, yeah, I missed all my family. We missed all the things, and we just didn't really have it. It kind of bummed me out, But there's a lot of people that needed me at the ER. I was like, cool. And I said, well, when? She goes, I can't wait to get out of there, though. And I said, well, when are you going to leave? And she said, well, I have $10,000 left, and my house is paid off, and I'm out of there. And so immediately I thought, $10,000? You could probably do that in 6 months with her story, right? Coach a couple people, make $1,000 a month, 10 months, And I mean, that's just to pay it off completely with just Take Shape for Life cash, right? And I said, you know what, Phyllis, I've been coaching you for a long time. You've referred people. You have a great story. You're killing it. I just edified all the things that are true. And I said, here's what I'm wondering. We have a health coach certification training program. And I was wondering if you would spend about 20 minutes with me and let me give you an overview of what that looks like, because that may be part of the solution to paying off your house sooner. Would you be willing to do that? She goes, I sure would. And I was like, okay. Like, and then I said, well, when do you want to do it? She goes, how about tomorrow? I was like, I'll make room, you know? And then I sent her a 23-minute video with Becca Tinter, where she does all the hard work for you, by the way, and the income disclosure statement. And here's what I said with the IDS. This is a brand new question. I want you to go over to the far right. I want you to look at the average incomes. And I want you to put a circle around your need. And then just for kicks, put a little star next to your want. And we'll talk about me the next day. And she goes, I watched the video twice. Wow, that was awesome. Becca Tinter. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Becca Tinter is that good. Yep, she's awesome. And so we talked about it. And she had a great little conversation with me. And I actually said, so what did you think of the video? What were some points that stood out to you? I'm not doing hardly any work here, folks. She's talking and talking and talking. I said, now let's pull up that income disclosure statement. Now, what did you circle? And we talked about that. And I said, what did you put a star next to? And she goes, well, I have pretty low needs. I mean, I do really well. And I said, well, yeah, but what is it? Anyway, so we had this dialogue, and it was, I'm telling you what, talk about simple. I just had to make an invitation that was relevant to the need at the time, and it happened. And she said, well, you know what? I'm going to think about this a little bit. I've got a new grandbaby, that's just come, and so I've been spending a lot of time there. But you've given me a lot to think about, Craig, and I'm going to think about this, because you know what? When I retire, I'm going to be bored, and I could do something just like this. And I was like, okay, so now it's in her sphere of thought, and she's kicking it around. The invitation, actually they'll get, just look for a yes or a no, and either one is okay, because a no isn't always a no. I know it wasn't in my case, and a yes isn't always a yes that they're going to actually be a great health coach. It just means yes or no that they're willing to meet with you. So that moves me, and I want to jump into the next training here, because this is really going to rock your worlds, hopefully. And this is a training that I've spent the last 3 months putting together. And I've been working on this with Kim Fisk. I've been working on this with Terry Miller, and I've been working on this with Susan LaBelle. And this is what we're going to roll out to all of you. And this is not new training. This is just a vehicle that has everything in its place. And so, what it has is the four cornerstones of what we do as coaches. And so it starts off, so you're gonna all have a link that will be sent to you. Every new coach will get this. Actually, every coach will get this, but every new coach will get it as well. And this is the first page, and it's basically you hit play and it walks you through it. What I love about this training is it's not a 40-minute webinar on how to be a great health coach where there's too much information. This is 4 different little trainings that are all self-contained within this Prezi, and each one of them has you work on one cornerstone of having a successful referral-based business. The other thing that it does is it has role plays. So you watch people actually doing it, not just talking about doing it, or not someone just writing down how to do it. This is real world actual things. So I'm going to walk through these real quickly. This first one is a hey, and I've been wanting to do this for about 1.5 years. Every new coach, I want to say, welcome to the team. I'm what they call a global director, and I'm so glad you're on our team. That's what this first thing says. Nice and simple. Then you click and it moves over to this next. In Take Shape for Life's compensation model, which, by the way, you don't need to fully understand to get started. In Take Shape for Life's compensation model, which, by the way,
hey,
you don't need to. Okay.
Craig, okay. I was gonna say we're not seeing anything.
My Alex, if you'll you've seen this a little bit while I'm getting my audio working. You can, if you want to comment a little bit about what you've seen and how you've used this so far, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll let you set it up. So I've been using this for the last 2 weeks with great success, Craig. So thank you so much for giving me a heads up on it. And he tested it first and wanted to make sure, he actually shared it with me about a month ago. And Barbara Maynard, who's on the call with us, She's actually a new coach. She can unmute just for a moment. Barbara is in Rochester. She's actually a new coach who I don't think made the list, Craig, in November. So she's great. She actually started off as a client. She's on her journey, and she decided that she wants to pay her forward and help some people. So we've been working through the 4-step process, and as much as she had no prior skills in this, Barbara now has been sharing with people. And Barbara, how's it been making you feel? You told me last night of getting these basic competencies, learning how to share your story and learning how to talk to people.
It's actually been helping just to boost up my self-confidence. And I'm finding that because I really like working with people and talking with people, that this feels like a really good fit, what I'm doing. And I also enjoy the fact that I can offer other people something that's really we all need. And
You froze on us, Barbara.
to see some help.
Yeah, that you've been doing so well. And what's neat is she, just in the last week since we've started, we did the process that Craig's about ready to share. She's now gotten the word out to about 4 or 5 people, and every single person has said yes that they're interested so far. And we've got 2 program presentations that one we already did last night, and we've got one with her son who's extremely interested too. But it's just, I remember she told me that since she started this process of doing this, she's actually lost 8 pounds just from feeling more accountable. So that was kind of neat too. You were like, I didn't expect it, but I just lost and she, just because you've been heightened. So Barbara, thank you for sharing. And I just wanted to let you all know, I've got several other coaches who have been signing up a lot of clients because they're learning to share their story properly, learning to get the word out. So I'll let Craig, you take over and explain the layering process here.
Yeah.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to make it really simple and stepped out. Terry Miller has been talking about just-in-time training versus just-in-case. And spend a little bit of time and think about that. At the beginning, we had just-in-case, and oh my goodness, overwhelm, overfill your cup, verbal vomit, blah, 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 and you just want to, it's too much to do. I'm going to go have some donuts, right? I'm going to go watch some TV. I'm going to go do something else. And so we want to give you the just-in-time training where we're not teaching you how to use the file folder system yet. We're teaching you how to actually have conversations and tell your story. So anyway, there's some narration that goes behind there. I'll let you listen to the first one here. In Take Shape for Life's compensation model, which, by the way, you don't need to fully understand to get started, it really is based on how many people you are impacting, whether through your own personal influence or, as you will see as your business grows, how many indirect people you will be helping. So it's giving you an overview that this is layers of people. You help people, and then people help people, and people help people. So it gives you an idea of what this is really about. And then we move on to the next thought here. And when you talk to your friends or really anyone you meet about what's happened with you. And so this is about telling your story. And so it's got a couple points to remember. And then it's got a video of a couple people telling their story. And I'm going to continue to add to these different stories I've got Alex and Sam, and I've got a number of you that have done some videos for me. And we're going to have multiple stories that you can hear if you don't have a weight loss story. If you do have a weight loss story, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a doctor, Daniela did a video with me as well. And so those are going to be in here, but I couldn't wait to get this out. I just needed to get it to you. So it's even going to get better. But the neat thing about it is as long as you keep the main link, all the upgrades you're going to get. It's not another training you have to go find. You just start with this one. It's the main link. And so this one here talks about, first,
hey,
it's
Craig,
yes, sir.
Your screen is not changing for us, by the way.
Oh,
and if it is, it might just be the Prezi software. I saw your mouse move across it, but there we go. Now I can see a video. Before we were not seeing any video. We were hearing good audio though.
Okay. Yeah. So the one before was this one here, milepost 1, telling your story, and it gives you some pointers, and then it gives you a real world role play of people actually telling their story. Okay. The next one we move on is milepost 2. So first of all, it's your story. You got to know what you're going to, what your story is. Then you want to figure out your list of who you're going to tell your story to, right? And so she talks about writing down that list. And you know what? There's a lot of people that are on this team that aren't overweight and that we wouldn't have thought of inviting to this program. But we would have missed out on huge opportunities. So this talks about your list. The next one talks about, well, now that you know your story and now you have your list, well, what are you going to say to those people? And this is all about how to get the word out. And so it's got Jamil and Jan Paxman, and he does a really great job. And then there's 2 additional videos that Susan LaBelle and I recorded on how to invite people. So you have the getting the word out option, and then you have 2 additional options where maybe you want to have a practice partner call with your coach and your mentor, and so you do a 3-way call. So there's some different options here that, depending on where your comfortableness is, you've got more than just one way to do it. And then there's some scripts down here in the bottom, getting the word out script and the interested script. And it looks like the wording's a little bit off. I'll fix that. But here's another thing. What if you had, once you got the word out and then you wanted to send them a follow-up email, what would I send them? Well, click on that link there and it's got it all done for you. Mm-hmm. Right? So we're no longer we're trying to find that one email that Alex sent me, and it was that one that it's here. It's all here. And then the last one here is, now that you've told your story to a lot of people, and some people were ready right now, and some people were not ready right now. Well, how do we manage those lists and we have consistent follow through and follow up? Well, here is what to do. What Lydia Wente and Stephanie Golka talk about managing your lists. And then if after 2 or 3 touches, they still just aren't that, they aren't ready, then you have the off the hook script. And then you put them in your drip system where you drip on them over time with inspirational stories. And then this is the key to a successful business. Don't freak out. Don't take it personal. Just go back to refining your story, building your list, getting the word out, and managing your lists. And we're at the end of the training. That was it. Hopefully, you'll see that it's going, oh, I can do that, right? So then we go back to the beginning, and you get to meet me again.
You know what's beautiful about this, Craig, is there's 2 things that come to mind. Is that when you bring on a new coach, well, how do I work with coaches? Well, you take them to this and you show them this is how you do it. What about when I work with a coach who's starting to bring on coaches? You show them the start and you have them do that, and you basically teach them how to do that.
Yeah. So
presidential director of business is just basically somebody who knows how to repeat that, amongst layers of people. And obviously the relationship side going.
Literally, if you can become senior coach, over time, you can become a presidential director. You just keep doing it over and over again. If you were senior coach every month, do you think that eventually you would have some of those people that wanted to be coaches, and then some of those people you taught how to become senior coach, and they did that over and over again, and you just fast forward a little with some time, and you're presidential director. Ding, 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 ding. And so we've got another slide that I'm working on is client support, because you're going to build clients with this system. And then, well, how do I support them? When in doubt, there's this thing called the file folder system. I'm telling you what, it works really good. It's really effective. But we're working on some another presentation like this that's pretty well almost done. But I wanted to get this one out to you because literally, go light it up and just keep it simple. Don't do anything. Don't do crazy. Maybe this works.
Yeah.
This is proven.
Greg, if I could say something, since I'm the grandpa.
Yeah.
This right here is so outstanding, because I think a lot of people, if you can get them over that little hump in the beginning, show them that they can be successful. And a lot of people just need a track to run on. This is really awesome. I'm excited. Do you know when this is coming out for everybody?
Well, this is just something I built for my team, but you can have it today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But you mentioned.
Are you going to put the link in the chat here, Craig?
Yeah, I'll put it on. I was going to post it to OHC, but yeah,
okay.
I can. I can put it in there as well.
So you mentioned Terry. You mentioned Terry and everything. Is this something she's looking at down the road, or she just wants us to kind of run it?
Well, yeah, we're kind of beta testing it with our group here, and the LaBelles are beta testing it as well.
I'd love to have the link. So
yep, yeah, it is there. So,
and you're putting it on Optimal Health.
I'll put it on there. Yep, in a moment here. Yep, exactly it. So yeah,
great job.
Thank you. Yeah, there was a lot of people that helped out, and Susan LaBelle, oh my goodness, she got wind of this and goes, "Hey, I want some of that," and it's good.
Yeah,
she really helped. So it's a collaboration of stuff, and ultimately it's that just-in-time thing. Hopefully when you saw the whole thing there, that you're not wondering, oh, that box just came in the mail from TSFL, and there's so much stuff in there, and there's so much just in case and not just in time. What do I do first? Just start with this Prezi and walk people through it, And some of you will walk through this very quickly, and some of you will take it one step at a time very slowly. And so it's designed to go at your own pace. The main keys are, after each little mile marker, is connect with your coach and talk to him about your experience. And that's the last thing that I'm going to add, is a couple little stop signs. But it's good enough, and I couldn't wait any longer, and I'll always be tweaking it so it'll always get better. But I needed you to get it out, because believe it or not, whether you know this or not, people in America will be making buying decisions by the 16th of December. Not thinking about it, but throwing cash down on the program they're going to start in January. If they don't know about your program, they will not throw the cash down your way. They will not join you if they don't know what you do. So you have between now and the 16th to invite lots of people, to get the word out, to help people that are going to spend it with or without you, to know that you have something that's going to be very different than most of the other programs out there, right?
If I could be a little transparent here, my first Christmas in TSFL, I fell into the concept of, well, it's Christmas time, and really didn't talk that much about TSFL, because I was waiting for that week after Christmas to really approach people. And my business actually dropped my frontline volume actually dropped about 18% that first Christmas. And I thought, oh my gosh, is my business over with? Is it done? And I see all these other people really growing. And so I talked to a few of my mentors, and they said, oh, well, we work October, November, and December like they're the 3 biggest months of the year, because it really sets us up for January. I thought, wow. See, I was struggling. I was trying to get people that had already made the decision and maybe went with some other program.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know what I was doing because I didn't tell them. So the following year, I spent October, November, and December, especially December, because like I said, that's when they're going to make that decision for the year resolution. And my business doubled in the following January, doubled. And I had a pretty good business, but I'd take my coaches along with me for the ride, to saying, hey, let's work October, November, December hard. And then you can like, oh my gosh, can I handle all the business? I mean, it was like, we have better tools today, but and then we were just kind of flying by the seat of our pants on a lot of this stuff. So Anyway, just to let people know, now's the time to work. I know people are Christmas shopping. I know that our meeting on the 13th is, it's just 2 weeks away from Christmas. I know all that, but that's why we got to get the word. That's why we got to invite them to these things, because it'll explode for you in January. I promise you that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to button it up for today. So I posted that link in the chat. And then for those of you that may or may not know, OHC, I know we have so many new people. So a Facebook group called Optimal Health Coach. And it's the Facebook group that I have set up for all of you guys. So if you're not on it, you can be. If you're a coach on our team, that's where we go for all the information. So make sure that if you're not there, that you request to be added. Just go Google or Facebook search Optimal Health Coach, and we'll make sure you're on there. And then I will post that link to the Prezi there. I put it in the chat window there. And if you have any questions about using it or any of those things, make sure you reach up to your mentor and go play with it today. Watch the videos, learn, do the steps. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be amazing. And very lastly, the Healthy Games we're going to be rolling some promotional things next week because we want to get the ideas in people's minds before the 16th, so they'll be able to decide to join us and potentially join. Inviting them to the challenge could be a catalyst to that. The registration is December 29th, and the first day of the competition is January 12th, and it'll be 6 weeks, and it's going to be awesome, even better than the other ones. So you guys have an awesome Friday. Any questions, reach up to your mentorship. Literally, if you don't reach up to your mentorship, what if your mentorship doesn't know you need help? Right? To reach up to them. And trust me, they will love to take your call. All right, guys. Hope this helps. We'll see you soon. And have a great Friday and enjoy your weekend.
Hey, absolutely. Those of you who have lagged on and stayed on for just 1 second, I want to encourage you to go to your schedule now and time block out the times that you're going to take your actions. So if you don't plan out this next week of your life, Friday's a great day to do that before the week comes, then what will happen is someone else will plan your life for you, or other things will. So time block your most important thing. Name what it is that would really move you forward to allow you to come up into this December and into January with no regret. You're on the front side of that. You're on the front side of regret, which means you're all success in front. Only in the reactive side will there be regret. So I just want to encourage time block. That's it.
Awesome. Okay, guys. See you soon. Thanks for joining us, all the guests. Alan, I see you there. And the rest of you, yeah, glad to have you. Barb, good job with rolling forward. Awesome stuff. And Linda, executive directors, it's in your hands. December's it. Go get it, girl. All right, guys.
Good deal.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.